everybody, Lumpy here again. Welcome back into Lumpy's Lounge, and today is the day. I think it's time for me to finally explain how in the world I ended up with the nickname Lumpy. And it is a nickname, all right? Let's get that straightened out right off the top. That is not my real name. With all due respect to both of my parents who are no longer with us, it's not what they named me. Now, people who are of a certain age have asked me whether or not it had something to do with the character on the old TV show Leave It to Beaver, whose name was Lumpy. That is not it either. Actually, my nickname actually is a Star Wars reference. And for those of you who are scratching your head thinking, what, Star Wars? Where is there a Lumpy in Star Wars? Well, it goes back to the infamous Star Wars Holiday Special. There is indeed a Star Wars Holiday Special. If you are not familiar with this piece of cinema, consider yourself lucky, first of all, because it is quite possibly the worst 2 hours that has ever been put on broadcast television. But if you're curious, I will put a link to one of those in the description below. Consider yourself fairly warned, and don't come crying to me when you have 2 hours of your life that you'll never be able to get back, because it is awful. The Star Wars Holiday Special aired. The original Star Wars came out in 1977. The Star Wars Holiday Special aired one time, and only one time, in 1978, and it involved, the whole story was wrapped around Han Solo and Chewie trying to get back to Chewie's home in order for them to celebrate what they called Life Day, Wookiee holiday. And it introduced us to Chewie's family. That's right, Chewie has a family. And all these Wookiees have big, long names, but we just kind of go by their nicknames usually. He has a wife whose name is Mala. Isn't she lovely? And he has a father whose name is Itchy. And he has a son, and his son's name is Lumpy. So that is where the reference for my nickname came from. Now, how I actually ended up with that nickname is another story. So when I joined the 501st Legion, which if you haven't checked out my previous video where I describe what the 501st Legion is all about, please go and do so. It is a really cool organization. But when I first joined, because it is a volunteer, all over the place kind of group, we sort of organize ourselves online. Okay, we have a web page, and as part of that web page is a message board where we can put information, messages. When we get requested to do an event, we'll put the information up on the website. And if you're able to go and interested in going, you go. If you're not, then you don't worry about it. And what I found when I joined the group and started looking around on these message boards was that everybody on these message boards had board names, okay, names that they used on that message board, okay, nicknames. And it was to the point where, because most of the interactions between everybody to put these events together was online, people only, or mainly, I wouldn't say only, but mainly knew each other by these board names, where somebody would bring up and mention John, and everybody's like, who's John? They said, well, you know, Blasty. Oh, Blasty, I know Blasty. Who's John? I know. I thought that was one of the coolest things, because that's one of the things I've always kind of longed for. Was I've loved being part of a group like that, where, you know, you have your own things and you have, you know, your own nicknames and all of that stuff. And the name, I started with some random generic name that was loosely based on my real name, but that didn't impress me. I wanted to find something. And I was desperate. I was asking people. I even put polls up on our message board. Hey guys, what should my board name be? And everybody who'd been in the group for a while just kept saying, just don't worry. You'll get it figured out. You got to earn it. It just kind of happens. I couldn't understand what that meant. Anyway, we fast forward a little bit, and I've been in the group for a couple of years now, and I decide I want to make a Chewbacca costume. We did not have a Chewbacca costume in our local state of Michigan group. There really weren't that many anywhere, period, because it is such a pain to put together. Decided I was going to do that. Worked and worked and worked and worked. Took about 6 months to get everything all pulled together. And once I was done, and it was all approved and official and ready to go, everybody was all excited. And the first large-scale kind of event that I went to with my Chewbacca costume was a minor league hockey game. So they had a minor league hockey team that was doing a Star Wars night, and we went to the event. We're there, we're all set, we're ready to go. We have a little pregame meeting before we get started, and everybody gets all suited up to just kind of go over, the plan for the night and what's expected and what we're doing. And when you have that larger of a size event, it's always a good thing to just kind of touch base with everybody. So the member of our group who was running the event, kind of the go-between between our group and the hockey team to get everything all set up, greeting everybody, and he mentioned that, everybody knew how excited they were to have, Chewbacca at our event for the first time ever, and everybody, golf clap and whatever and so on. One of the other members just shouted out in the meeting, well, we're all going to call you Lumpy now, right? And everybody laughed and chuckled, but out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that the member of our group who kind of oversaw the message boards, because that was what he did as a profession, so he was kind enough to use his skills for our group as well. He was at the event, and as soon as he heard that, he got that smile, like the Grinch cartoon where the Grinch gets a wonderful, awful idea. Yeah, that smile right there. He got that big smile on his face. I didn't think it was possible for a person to smile that big, but he got that big of a smile on his face. And lo and behold, he pulled out his phone, and my name was officially changed on our message boards to Lumpy before they even dropped the puck on the hockey game. And that was 11 years ago now. And I've been Lumpy ever since. And there's a lot of people in our group who that's the only thing they know me as. Somebody mentions my real name, and who is that? So that's just kind of how it all happened. Kind of a fun story, not overly exciting, but kind of a fun little story. I kind of like it. And now you know, and as G.I. Joe says, knowing is half the battle. Take care, everybody. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next time in Lumpy's Lounge.